Good morning, everyone. I apologize for my tardiness. You know me and the technology with this streaming computer just at times do not get along. Give me a moment. I'm going to simulcast this to our Facebook page, and that just takes me a brief moment because Facebook, of course, requires you to type in a couple of different things and then publish the post. So give me just a moment, and we'll get this started. Hope everyone's having a good Tuesday so far. The weather's been really nice, of course. Morning. David's over there doing the dishes. Save. Cool. It's saving. All right. Let's get into Tegna 1. Sorry, guys. We're just about there. It's so funny. You can hear it in the background.
Oh, sorry.
You're fine. We have not started yet. Send alert to all subscribers. Okay. We're going to send out this push alert to our News 8 app, and then we are going to be well on our way. Okay, we've got that set. We are going to push out to Facebook Live right now. And we got 9 people on the stream this morning. Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I hope you guys enjoyed the weather yesterday. Oh my gosh, I still can't believe all of the records that we broke. Absolutely incredible. We did a 3-for-1 yesterday. We broke the record high for the day, February 26th. We broke a record high in terms of the warmest day in February ever in the Quad Cities. And apparently we also broke a record in the warmest high temperature for the entire winter season on a single day. Wow, that was quite a feat. So a lot going on, of course, with it being unusually warm. Yes, we're talking about the return of the threat of some severe weather as we go into this evening. The area of concern really hasn't changed a whole lot versus what we were talking about yesterday. This is still mostly on the Illinois side of the Mississippi River. So if you live on the Iowa side, you're not going to see any impacts from severe weather today. This is for everybody on the Illinois side. You can see that there with the severe storm zones that we've got on the graphic. Threat track level 1 does exist in the Quad Cities, but the threat track level 2, that more elevated risk for severe weather, is all on the Illinois side. It is just south of Sterling, Rock Falls. It includes Kewanee. You might as well throw Cambridge into the mix here too for that. Just east of Galesburg into Princeton. That's where the zone is. The next update we get to this map comes in at 10:30, so about 90 minutes from now. I really do not expect much change in this. The model consistently, at least this morning compared to yesterday, has been a lot more steady, a lot less moving things around hour by hour as it did compared to yesterday, which we expect. Today's the day of the event. Things should be pretty much buttoned up now in terms of the timing and the location. So we're going to step through a couple of things here. Yesterday, I know Facebook gave us some problems trying to read the comments. If that's the case again today, I'll try and get to those with a typed response. And I think the chat is also open up on YouTube if you guys have questions as well. And we can run this till about 9:25. Then it's meeting time, right, David?
That's right.
That's right. All right, so let's talk about the threats that we're most concerned with today with these storms that are going to be developing here. I think by far the biggest threat we're going to see is the threat for large hail. And this is especially true Interstate 39 and points to the west. That's where the big hail is going to be. We're talking greater than quarter size, potentially the size of golf balls, if not larger, especially in this hatched zone that we've got on the screen here. And I'll put my little arrow up so you guys can help you guys see where this is at. Right in here into Chicago. Whenever they put that hatched zone on there, that means we're talking about a couple of larger hail reports than we would typically see. So that's where most of the hail is going to be. But you see the likely category extends all the way back here to the same area where that threat track level 2 out of 5 risk is. So I think hail is the primary threat. Secondary threat would be some wind gusts up to 60 miles an hour. We talked about the tornado threat yesterday, how I really wasn't too excited about that, especially given the high bases to these clouds. That means that the bottom of the storm clouds, where the rotation's pronounced usually, the higher it is from the ground, the harder it is to get an actual tornado to form. The conditions just aren't that right. That's still the case here today for us. That really hasn't changed. I think the better ingredients for that are also going to be off to the east. And you see that with the potential here. This is the tornado potential. Notice the likely category is east of Princeton and many of our hometowns. I think that's where the better opportunity will be for a quick spin-up tornado, right in that dark red zone. Still a possible risk, though, into Princeton, Kewanee, and just east of Galesburg. But again, not really too concerned about the threat of tornadoes today. I think that's going to stay to the east of us. So let's go through Future Track. And I've got two models on here. I've got our in-house model, and I've also got the Rapid Refresh model. Now, the Rapid Refresh model, we get a new run every hour. The model that I've got on here for our in-house, we get a new run about roughly every 3 to 4 hours. But they've both been consistent in developing these storms between 5 and 6 o'clock this evening, starting very close to the Quad Cities. Now, this is our in-house model here that's got this particular storm developing a little bit earlier, about 4 o'clock. And that's the first storm that's just south of Geneseo and Kewanee. That thing will grow and intensify as it heads into Bureau County. And you can see why they have that higher risk, that threat track level 2 out of 5 versus the 1 out of 5 that we've got here in the immediate Quad Cities. Now, what you're seeing developing over the immediate Quad Cities there to the west of that initial cell, that's the Rapid Refresh model, which holds off storm development until 5, 6 o'clock this evening. It starts them right over the Quad Cities, and then it blossoms that convection or that thunderstorm activity, if you will, as it heads into the Sauk Valley later this evening. This is going on 7 o'clock. Pretty good storm moving into Whiteside County and northern Bureau County, and then all of this shuffles itself off to the northeast and heads into the Chicagoland region after 8 o'clock this evening. So the timing is very consistent. The timing continues to show between 5 and 8 o'clock this evening for the storm development. That's what we're going to be sticking with, and that's what I put on this graphic here. So it's areas along and east of the Mississippi River, damaging wind gusts up to 60 miles an hour, hail potentially a little bit larger than quarter size, that's an inch in diameter, and then we're not talking about a huge threat for tornadoes again today. I think that is a very, very low risk. There's again the Rapid Refresh model showing you how that storm initiation is going to take place right around 6 o'clock, near the Quad Cities metro, and then racing off to the east, moving through Bureau County, Whiteside County. This will also move through Henry County too, the way it looks. So plan on those areas specifically getting that initial storm development, and then all of this racing off to the northeast really quickly so that our threat is ended by 8 o'clock. Storm energy. Where is all of that going to be today? Well, you see, it's right on the Illinois side of the river. In fact, it's the exact spot where the threat track 2 out of 5 currently exists. It's not a huge amount of energy, but it's in the moderate category, so slightly a little bit more than low energy. We're in that moderate, so we're talking about 1460. That's the measurement in joules per kilogram that we use. So as storm initiation gets going, here's 4 o'clock. What we're measuring here, this 1620, the location for that is Princeton, Illinois, by the way, because the Quad Cities, as you see here, there's really no storm energy in our neck of the woods, so we had to go a little bit further east to get this measurement. So I picked Princeton as a focal point for this number, and that is a little bit more of a favorable environment to get a stronger storm to go. Continue this through 5:30, 6 o'clock. There you see, there's still plenty of storm energy there, but once we get to 7, the front is moving through, the storm energy is waning and going away completely, and then the severe weather threat will be over. Once we get done with the storms this evening for our Illinois hometowns, a strong wind event will then take over for the remainder of the night. We've got a wind advisory from 6 this evening until 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. We are expecting wind gusts to approach 45 miles an hour. They may briefly exceed that at times, and we're still on track to see overnight low temperatures bottom out into the teens, and the wind chills tomorrow morning will be below 0 into the single digits with not much improvement during the day. Mostly going to see the single to double digits above 0 in the teens for wind chills. It's a quick turnaround again for the upcoming weekend. Tomorrow is really the only day of winter-like conditions. As this warmer pattern continues to remain locked in place. We're going to go back to the 70s this weekend and offer up an opportunity for more strong storms early next week with our next cold front. But this weekend's going to be amazingly beautiful. You really got to enjoy that one. In fact, when I have to pick the weekend's best, I'm just picking both of them. And you guys pick which one you want to use. Or pick them both. Why not? It's going to be absolutely beautiful. So let's recap again. The areas that we're most concerned with, again, this is a short window of opportunity tonight. This is going to be mostly for our Illinois hometowns. If you live on the Iowa side, I just don't see much potential there for any severe weather. So it's a threat track 1 out of 5 in the Quad Cities. It amps up to a 2 out of 5 as you go further east. So Sterling, Rock Falls, Dixon, Amboy, Lee County. On the Illinois side, you're included in this. Princeton, all of Bureau County included in this, the eastern half of Henry County, most of Knox County, and then you've got Stark County there too. That's included in this, heading into Peoria. Again, if you have plans to travel to Chicago this evening, they're expecting the brunt of this to arrive after 8 o'clock, including the chance of some significant sized hail. We're talking 2 inches or more in diameter. That's bigger than golf ball size. That can really do some damage. But otherwise, hail is our main threat here. 60-mile-an-hour winds. There's the tornado threat. Notice how that has shifted too to the southeast. I wasn't surprised. I really was not too concerned about tornadoes today, given the high cloud bases. It's not very conductive to getting tornadoes in our region today. If this low were to have tracked just a little bit further to the west, that would have worked more in our favor to get that tornado chance to be a little bit higher. But the fact that the low is tracking as far east as it is really kind of limits our potential for tornadoes here. For many of our hometowns, you got to go farther east, closer to Interstate 39, to see that tornado potential ramp up. So a reminder, we'll give you one last view here through the future track model, and I'm going to pop this up for a second, and I'm going to put on the higher resolution in-house model, if it'll let me. Give me 1 second, because I'm kind of curious to see what it's got. This is the one that updates every hour. That's our in-house one. So give me 1 second. I'm going to pop that on. I'm going to take the other one off. And I'm also going to take off the rapid refresh. And let's see what our in-house short-term model is going to try and do. It actually might be too far out, and it looks like it is indeed too far out for that model to see. Unless, let me try stretching this. And, oh, actually, nope, there it is. Okay. So this is the one, this is our in-house that updates hourly. So it's our version of the rapid refresh. If you're familiar, if you're a weather weenie, you follow the HRRR model. This is our version of it. Oh, you're fine. Go right ahead. You're fine. So here we are, 4 o'clock. Again, the in-house develops this stuff a little earlier than the other model does here. But yeah, still the same idea. Between 4 or 5 o'clock, right around that Interstate 80 corridor, you get some good action developing there. Kind of some interesting signatures there, too. It almost looks like an elevated supercell type situation, which they're known for hail. You get an elevated supercell in here, and that is a hail producer, a prolific hail producer. So that's why I think the hail threat is also higher today because of that factor. But again, you see the timing is similar. Getting into our Illinois hometowns there, right between 5, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and then it's out of here, and then we run past the model's time limit there. That's why it disappears. It's not going to literally disappear. That's just where the end of the model run is. So I still think that timing is good. Let's plan on the timing being between 5 this evening, 8 o'clock. The severe threat will be over for everyone by 8 o'clock. That'll move off to the northeast. It looks like storm initiation somewhere around the 5 o'clock hour, right around the Illinois side of the Quad Cities, and then racing off to the east, impacting Henry County, Illinois side, Bureau County, looks like northern Knox County, all of Stark County, and some of this may try sneaking into Whiteside County too. That's why you're included in that threat track level 2 out of 5 on the map here. So I'm going to hop into the comments. Let's see. Last time we had a burn ban in the Quad Cities, that's the question on YouTube. We definitely had one last year. We were in a drought situation in the summer. And that's the last time I remember we had a fire weather watch. In fact, I think we had one in the fall as well. So not too surprising. When you get windy conditions, low relative humidity, you have to remember that in February, we don't get that humidity like we do in the summer because the crops are not in yet. They're not coming out of the ground yet. They're not even in the ground. Vegetation's not greening up yet. The trees aren't blossoming. They're not putting all that extra moisture in the air quite yet. So that's why we have such low humidity this time of year, despite the fact that we're talking about severe weather. That's another reason why there. Hopefully that makes sense. Rhonda's asking about the Freeport area. I am not expecting any severe weather in Freeport or in Rockford for that matter. I think this will stay to your southeast. Sam asking about Henderson County. Yes, I don't see anything in Henderson. Kalita, I think this is going to be just to your south of Kalita. Dave's checking in from Galesburg. I think it's going to be just to the east of you guys in Galesburg, the way things look right now. That's what I'm thinking. I think it's just to the east of Galesburg. May just clip the northern part of town based on that model that I just showed you there a moment ago. And I'll take you back to that. I'm going to put the one that showed both our in-house and the rapid refresh. So there you see, how do they differ in storm timing and placement just by a little bit. One's further north, one's further south. One develops storms at 4, the other develops storms at 5. It's just an hour difference. It's not that big of a difference, really. But you see that most of this, again, is tied to the Interstate 80 corridor. So that theme continues. We're really not changing that. Good morning, Deborah. Good morning, Dave. He's wondering for LaSalle, Peru. I think 6 o'clock for LaSalle, Peru looks like a good time frame there. Large hail, damaging wind threat, and yes, an isolated tornado in and around the LaSalle, Peru area. For Mount Morris, I'm not expecting much in your neck of the woods. You're just barely in that threat track level 2, but certainly a hail threat if a storm can make it that far north. Same thing for the rest of Ogle County, Maureen. It's more of a hail threat if we can get a storm to meander its way that far north in its development. Geneseo is just on the edge, but I still think we have a hail threat in Geneseo. Very early, we're talking about 5 o'clock timing for Geneseo. Bureau County, Bailey, Bureau County is definitely one of our areas of concern for the hail and the wind threat. Again, we're not too much concerned about a threat for tornadoes. Leslie's asking about Bureau County timing and the status around the Manlius area. We're thinking about 5 to 6 o'clock for Bureau County. There you see it on the map there. That storm getting into your region. Hail and wind will be the biggest threat there. Yeah, Matt, you are correct in terms of that being in the area of Walnut. Yes, in Bureau County. Absolutely. I would say Walnut and Bureau County is definitely in the threat today. And with that, I think somebody's asking about Mercer County. I believe this is going to be further east than Mercer County here. Again, these storms are just going to be getting going right over top of the Illinois side of the Quad Cities. So when you're talking Mercer County, I think this is a little bit further east of you. Wouldn't be surprised to see a storm pop right up overhead, but in terms of it getting severe, I think that threat's going to be further east of you as we get into the afternoon. So kind of rocking that back and forth so you guys can see the timing there compared to the clock at the top of the screen. Again, right between 5 and 6 o'clock looks like that's going to be storm initiation time around here. So I hope that helps. I'm going to get ready to go to the morning news meeting where we decide what we're going to be covering for the day. I'm going to give them a briefing on this situation as well. Timing-wise, it's not the greatest time to get the beast out because we're talking about darkness setting in right around 5:30, 6 o'clock. So that's not on our agenda for today. That's always a tough decision to make, especially this time of year. It's February. The sun is still setting awfully early. We like to get the beast out when we get further into April and May because we get those later sunsets. And it's too dangerous to chase at night. We don't like doing that. So that's the explanation for that. But rest assured, we'll be tracking it for you as well. We're going to be keeping an eye on the radar all throughout the evening. If we need to break into programming, we will certainly do that. If we need to do a break-in online here for social media, we will certainly do that as well if it is warranted. If you haven't already, grab the Storm Track 8 app. or the News 8 app, but honestly, I like the Storm Track 8 app better because this one is totally weather. And honestly, I get the alerts on this app first before I get them on any other app or even on my system here that costs thousands of dollars. So if you don't have the Storm Track 8 app, grab it. You'll get all of the alerts, the watches, the warnings. You've got interactive radar right there on your screen. It's worth it to grab it. Again, totally free. You'll get all of the alerts that you ever need through that app. So I'm going to sign off. We'll see you for GMQC at 11 coming up. We'll see if there's any change to that outlook at 10:30. I'll have that for you at the 11. But again, I don't expect much change. I think we're pretty much locked in place with who's going to get what at this time. So just keep an eye on the sky this evening. You know we'll be doing that. I've even got Ned ready to go if I can get some cool cloud shots before it gets too dark. As these storms go east of Geneseo, we'll see what happens with that. But just kind of be on guard this evening. Again, we'll keep you updated if anything big comes about in terms of a watch or a warning as we go through the evening. You guys enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. I'll see you for the 11 o'clock.